back. We are back. Nutty North podcast presented by Mojo Sportskin. I gotta get that graphic back. The little lower third at the bottom.
What do you do the week before the next week? That's what I'll be wondering. Like, how do we still need stuff when we have a whole week between show to show?
What you mean?
You and them honeys, boy. I'm trying to tell you. You and them honeys.
That's crazy. Look, it's me,
Playboy
Rondell,
Ronnie.
here with T Nesbitt. How you doing, T?
Living the dream, man. Get to do this again. So, you know me, I'm happy.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm feeling good. You feeling good? So let's get to talking about these teams and look at this standing. We got the AFC North. Here it is. Steelers are still at the top, 8-0, undefeated, even though they looking real weak. They looking real weak.
Still 8-0.
The Baltimore is next with 6-2. The Browns are 5-3, and the Bengals are 2-5-1. And they're both coming off a bye. Hopefully they find wins. With the Bengals going against the Steelers this upcoming week, the Browns got the Texans, right?
Yep.
And the Ravens got the Pats. So, let's see what's gonna shake. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's still where I thought it was going to be. I mean, obviously it was 2 games of division, AFC North division and players played. So, I mean, I fully expected Baltimore to beat Dallas, and I fully expected Baltimore, Pittsburgh to beat Dallas, and I fully expected Baltimore to beat the Colts. So it's about status quo, right where I thought it was going to be. And again, like I talked about last week, you can win or you can lose that bye week. So we're about to find out: did the Browns and Eagles win or did they lose on that bye week? So let's see. I mean, I still have a nasty taste in my mouth because I have to look at that shiny goose egg right on the right column of that Steelers team. But I'll get over it. That loss may be coming here quickly. Them Bengals, with an extra week to prepare.
Yeah, we coming 7. But,
Joe Busy.
I'm not gonna lie. As much as it excited me, hearing people talk about it, I forgot about that curse. They put the TJ Husmanzada on Twitter just rubbing his cleats with a terrible towel. So it's like, I don't know. They might come hard, try to hurt Joe Burrow.
Well, I mean, it ain't like he could put no bad mojo out there. Like, you already kind of expect the Steelers to beat the Bengals. So, I mean, I'm not big on curses and all that anyway, but I am big on taking the terrible towel and shining your shoes with that. I'm big on taking that terrible towel and shining a whole lot of different things with that.
All right.
For real, if you want to be technical.
That's probably why they love this show right here.
Man, come here, Steelers fans. Come sit right next to me. I'll be right here all day, every day. I'm not worried about them or that towel. But anyway, Husmanzada, I like to see that he still supports the Bengals. That's what's up. They need more of that. But it's just one of them things, nut up or shut up. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want to do before the game, but here comes Sunday. They're going to have to strap up and they're going to have to play. So Bengals better be ready, and the Steelers better be ready. Again, it's not like the Bengals are a contender or nothing like that, but they have shown that they can play you tough. Right. So if the Steelers think they're going to get just a walk in the park, they may have to, look the other way with that. And I mean, they haven't played that great the last couple weeks either. So you put those things combined, I'll say they're on a little bit of an upset alert.
Yeah, true. And Aaron, I have no clue what you're talking about. He said it ain't like Burfict playing for the Steelers. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
That's Boogie Moore. That's my dog. That's what I called him. What do you call him? Mustard. It's the Captain Mustard or something.
Oh, that's the guy that's the Captain Mustard?
Matter of fact, shout out to Bug for the beats. That's who the beats are brought to you.
Okay, shout out to him.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
That's my dog.
Yeah, I especially love the one that I use for Nutty North. Them beats is fire.
Yeah, buddy. Man's talented, man. Give him a holler. But yeah, I mean, Burfict would help. Speaking on Burfict, that definitely wouldn't hurt. Play over there in Cincinnati. Well, technically, it would hurt the Steelers.
It would hurt Cincinnati too, like they did in 2015.
Well, yeah, with them penalties. But I mean, still though, like they need an identity out there. But we'll talk about this a little bit more. The Bengals have picked up a nice little DN prospect, Mr. Tack, that should help them a lot. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but I mean, they'll take all the help they can get. And the problem with the Steelers when it comes to the Bengals, it's not really offensively. Like I don't see the Steelers really being a dominant offensive squad. Like this Steelers team really does remind me of those old school Steel Curtain teams. Like it was the defense that was really shutting stuff down, the quarterback, and they gave you enough. Offense gave you enough, but I don't really think that's winning them games. Outside of when they went whoops upside the Browns' head, that was about as put together as a game that I've seen in a while. But outside of that, like the Steelers' offense ain't really scaring you. So I think the Bengals necessarily, if they can get them into a kind of shootout, kind of game, it could be again upset alert. So we'll see.
Yeah, I believe that too. Like I said, this is a big trap game coming up. Truly, I've been calling it all year. It's gonna happen at some point. It happened to Tennessee. It's gonna happen to the Steelers also. So we just gotta wait and see. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah, speaking of the Steelers, they run into some trouble, some COVID trouble, with Ben Roethlisberger and a few other players. I forgot who all it was. I know Vince McDonald is the one positive, but Ben Roethlisberger and I think he's the most important name out of that. They came in contact with him, so they could possibly be out. But if they keep testing negative, they'll be playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of more with the COVID thing. Let me see when it comes Sunday. Who's out there? That's I don't get into the specific because any other time you don't really care too much about what's happening in practice. Like you pay attention to who's hurt, who's not, who's practicing, whatever.
I mean, but that still hurt though.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But what I'm saying is, Matt Stafford had the same thing all week, and then come Sunday he's playing.
Right.
So my thing is, I'm not putting too much into what ifs until Sunday comes because
Baker had the same thing. Was that last week or this week?
I think it was kind of last week coming into this week, and this week they cleared it. So again, that's another thing. I'd have spent all week worrying myself sick because Baker Mayfield may not play because of this COVID situation, and then come Sunday he's out there.
Would you be worrying yourself?
Yes, because Case Keenum is still our backup quarterback.
I'd rather have Casey Keenum than Baker.
I wouldn't. Not at all. I just need Baker Mayfield not to be Baker Manziel. That's all I ask. I mean, Christmas is coming up. That might be what I wish for.
Yeah, that's easier said than done.
Or that PlayStation 5 or Xbox.
Hey, matter of fact, if y'all out there, any pretty ladies, if y'all want to, spend some money on your boy.
Pretty lady and spend money? Think about how those two things don't add up. Pretty lady spending money. How many times you seen that pretty lady spend some money?
Hey man, like you said, this is our show, all right? So I gotta say what I gotta say. I'm looking for a sugar mama out there. Right?
We need a GoFundMe.
I need something.
A GoFundMe. We need a.
Hey, you give me half, I'll come up with the other half.
We need a Cash App, and we need a OnlyFans for any time our teams get screwed over.
I need a OnlyFans. I don't know about that one.
I'm just saying. And we take all the donations we can get for the PlayStation 5, Xbox.
Yes, sir. Yes, we will. But
we coming to see you? Nah, I'm joking. We ain't coming to see you.
I mean, that's all I got on that COVID front. I don't think anyone else has came out about it.
I want to know something. Shout out to Christian with the turtleneck though. That man's turtleneck game is on me. I just had to get that out the way. Christian's a Pats fan. We ain't gonna talk too much about them over here.
Oh, he got the Ravens, huh?
Who?
He got the Ravens.
Oh yeah, that's right. Look at you. See how that tied in together?
That tied in.
That turtleneck tied it in. That's what's up. Shout out to Christian though. But we're gonna go ahead and get on that game. Matter of fact.
Yeah. What you thinking on it? Oh, especially with the remarks that Lamar had. It was today, right?
Oh yeah, about the teams on display.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they ain't that creative. There's a reason why you can do what you do in the regular season, and then the playoffs come, and it's just what happened. Well, because you're still predictable. It's just hard to do with every team not being up to that standard. Right. That's why in primetime games and big time games, the Ravens kind of falter. Just because they are easily predictable. You know what they're going to do. And now they're kind of trying to stray away from it, which is kind of shoot themselves more in the foot. They're trying to be unpredictable by not doing what really gets them there. We don't want to run Lamar 1,000,000 times. Well, if you make him pass 1,000,000 times, it kind of screws you over.
I'm not going to lie. At this point, I'm just like, it has to be QB development at this point, in my eyes.
It's not.
You can't be out there saying they know our plays and then because they supposed to. So you got to adjust to that. It's chess, like they always say. It's chess. You out there playing.
Well, Lamar is kind of like that young quarterback,
right?
Where you cut down one side of the field for him. You know what I'm saying? You give him one read, maybe two reads at the most. You make it easier for him to succeed. And then, hey, if you don't see nothing, first read, second read, that way your 4-3 speed shows up and you can, make plays that way. Well, it becomes fool's gold because at some point in time, I'm going to need to see you beat me with your arms because you can't run this thing all day. If you try to run this baby 20 times, we're going to hurt you. But they don't know how to adjust that yet. So it's like when they shut down the run, how are we going to pass this ball? They don't have that answer yet because Lamar still hasn't progressed as a quarterback. And that's because they're telling him, well, you don't have to. You can use your legs. So instead of saying with that second,
they got to be QB development at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying as far as Harbaugh is a better mind than what he's given to Lamar, but maybe he just can't give Lamar all that because Lamar is not going to be able to step in that pocket and pick you apart. He's going to have to one read no, two read no, because once you get to that third, fourth read, he don't know what to do. He's going to turn into check down Charlie. So they have to figure that out, and that comes with practice. Like you said, QB development. That's what you're going to have to do during that time frame where you have the week of preparation. But also with that week, it comes a lot of don't get the quarterback hit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're protecting your quarterback probably a little too much. And you look at their record, they still have a pretty good record, so you say it worked. But at the end of the day, all that matters is the Lombardi Trophy. So if they can't get it done the way that they feel like they need to get it done, they're going to have to make a change somewhere somehow. And I don't know if it's and it was always get them another wide receiver, give them another weapon. I don't know how much another weapon helps them. They have to do what they need.
I mean,
to
if
do
he won't throw outside the numbers, then ain't no point in getting him another receiver.
So with the same thing, he has to figure out how to be a quarterback. Lamar Jackson, even up to this point, he's more of an athlete than a quarterback. That thing has to switch once he becomes a quarterback that can athlete you. Because again, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but compare him to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will make the plays that he needs to make with his legs. Pat Mahomes don't run a 4-3. But Pat Mahomes will get you that 25-yard gain with his legs that he needs to get. But all before that, he's going to use his arm. He don't depend on his legs. He uses them when he needs them. Lamar Jackson depends on his legs, and now the Ravens are trying to teach him during actual live game action how to be a quarterback. It's going to have some bumps, down the road. So we'll just see how they're able to develop that. But strangely enough, the Pats are kind of a bye week game for them. So
I mean, I was gonna say strangely enough, he's running up against basically another team that plays like how they play. They rely on the defense, and then with the offense, like the quarterback's just mostly running.
Yeah, that's true. That can help and hurt you because with the Pats, you do see that every day in practice. So you more than anything, you know how to kind of play defense on it. Yeah. But at the same time, the Pats pretty much stink right now. So
I wouldn't say stink. They tank it.
I don't want to say they tank it either. They just.
I mean, we can call him Christian if he's still out there right now.
Go get him in that turtleneck. We can do this. Win this all week. But nah, I mean, I'm not necessarily too much looking at the passes. They are what they are at this point. Like they're not intentionally trying to lose. I'm sure they're trying their hardest, but they're just Tom Brady meant a lot. So that was able to mask a lot of stuff. But that's what having a great quarterback does. He helps you mask a lot of stuff. Comparing that to Lamar Jackson, until he becomes that actual great quarterback, he's not going to be able to mask anything. So he's going to have to figure out how to beat you with his arm. And until he can consistently do that, they're going to run into these kind of problems. So they're going to have to take these games and make the most out of it.
All right. Okay. All right. I mean, you kind of jumped ahead, but that was cool talking about the
Well, I mean, it's Christian's turtleneck, bro. I had no choice.
I mean, you had to tie it in. So
I just seen the turtleneck and just laser focused. You know what I'm saying? Like it worked. It worked.
Yeah, but bringing it back to another thing you talked about. Let's talk about some mid-season pickups. It seems the Bengals have picked up. What's his name? Taki McKinley.
Tack McKinley.
Tack McKinley.
Yeah. It's probably best you don't try to pronounce his first name. But Tack. That's what he goes by. Anyway.
Why is it 2 Ks?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Why do they call big cats tiny? Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to work. It doesn't have to make sense. It is what it is.
So they picked up another defense end. That's all I know.
Yeah.
They keep stacking the defense line, and I mean, yeah, we lost a huge power in Carlos Dunlap, but at the same time, we still got Lawson. We still got Gino. I think what's his name? Is it Michael Smith? No, Mike Daniels.
Mhm.
I think he's healthy. The only one that's out is why can I not remember his name right now?
Oh, your boy. I forgot his name. It's a D tackle.
Yeah, he's the only one that's out. And Sam Hubbard's coming back, so
Yeah.
I don't know what's the point of stacking this defensive line.
Well, it's not about necessarily stacking defensive line. It's about stacking talent. As good as the Bengals have,
adding more talent is just gonna keep pushing that defensive line to get better.
well, it's kind of one of those things where your replacement is closer than you think, and when you have Tack coming in, it's I'm looking at you, Gino, or I'm looking at you, Sam Hubbard, or you know what I'm saying. I'm looking at Reader. I'm looking at you, Reader. Like
That's what it is.
it's a million different spots on that D line that I could take from. So the moment you start slipping up, it's right there. It's like that. You referenced my post earlier about the girl having
When
somebody
your girl's
on
upset
deck.
with you, she calling someone else.
Yep, that's the same thing as football. They have your replacement on deck. That person in that same room, closer than you think. But right now you're thinking it's sweet. Oh, I'm gonna start in DN on this team.
Right.
I ain't worried about Tack. But then next year come and you getting called in the office and actually do you have your playbook, and then you're like, well, why did this happen? Tack. Tack wasn't coming for your job this year. He's coming for your job next year.
I mean, that kind of goes into what Dunlap had a problem with. He started for like 10 years, or maybe 9 to 8 of those 10 years he was with us. Then all of a sudden he's third on the depth chart.
Well, I mean,
And it's like
you have to understand situational awareness too. You're a veteran on a young team.
right.
That's a quick way to get you a new address. Not because it's really a knock on you, but your timeline is different. There's a reason why you have AJ Green, but T. Higgins got drafted in the second round. Because we want to put a wide receiver on the same timeline as that quarterback. Our defense needs to be on that same timeline. And again, that's what we're looking forward to is we don't look at Tack to be here now. We look at Tack to be here next year when we're trying to be good, or next year when we're trying to be good. So it's about building blocks. And somebody's going to have to take somebody's like Mike Daniels, another prime example. Mike Daniels is more of a stopgap kind of dude. You can't have him there for 10 years. Even at your best, Mike Daniels might be there another 2, 3 because he's older.
I felt like that's why we got DJ Reader.
Yeah, absolutely. But Tack is cheap. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Whitney Houston. Tack is cheap. Tack is cheap.
Oh man over here.
Yeah. But it's still one of them things where if I have to cut you, again, Carlos Dunlap, prime example. He was probably making $11 million a year. Let's just throw that out there, somewhere around there. Tack is probably making $1 million. That's $10 million that I could put somewhere else. I could give me another piece of line help. I could give me another cornerback. I could give me another D end or linebacker, something that's going to help me more than $11 million a year Carlos Dunlap. So it's just it's a lot of different things that come into play with that. But I think it was a low risk, high reward kind of move. He still was a first rounder. Not too far removed from it. He probably looking for a fresh start that's going to let him play a lot, and Cincinnati can offer him that opportunity. So sometimes it kind of matches up. So hopefully it works out for him. Like I like Tack as a prospect. He disappointed in Atlanta, but so did most of Atlanta's defense. So I mean, if he can give him a little spark, a little spunk, and maybe help.
A change of environment, change of just scenery can spark a lot in the player. So
he going from Bojangles to Skyline Chili. So
I mean, yeah,
see what he likes. But I mean, it's a good underrated pickup. It's one of those small things that you don't really it's a little blip on the radar, but it can grow to be extremely huge. So we'll see how it plays out.
Did you see any other pickups?
Not
or is the Bengals only one making moves right now?
I think
I know the
Bengals,
Browns were interested in him in Tack too.
Yeah, but it comes down to this is when being the worst team work in your favor because they got Tack on the waiver wire. So I mean, the Browns. I don't even want to say unfortunately, but they're in a rare situation where they're not first in line for the waived guy. and that's a good place to be. So it kind of sucks that you don't get tagged, but it's a good thing you don't get tagged too, because I still think the Browns need to look on the waiver wire or look somewhere to try to find some type of defensive help, because that's still a problem issue.
I mean, they gotta fix that secondary.
Absolutely, but that
Is
comes to get
Greedy still
healthy.
out?
Yeah,
So that hurts. I mean, Greedy's still out. I mean, we lost Trey Waynes, but we had enough in the secondary to at least patch that up.
yeah.
So
I mean, the injuries to do that to you. That's a big part of what hurts you is
them injuries.
the death. You know what I'm saying? So somebody comes out, you have to have that next man up mentality with that. Sometimes that's some rules, because that next man up, obviously you're not as good as the guy that just went down. Otherwise, you then took his job. So you want to take a loss somewhere, but hopefully it's just not substantial. So we'll see. But I think the Browns are happy where they're at. For the most part, same with the Ravens and Steelers, and the Bengals are at that position where they got to keep taking flyers, because attack doesn't work out, cut you, don't lose no sleep over it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't move
That's
the
what I was
needle.
saying, because a lot of people was like he wasn't playing good in Atlanta, so y'all didn't really win this, and I'm like,
Nobody was, man.
and I'm like, when it comes down to it, if he don't play good, we just drop him. Like,
That's it.
It's
all.
no risk, no reward, really, or it's not. It's like high risk. Wait, no.
It's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, it's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, it don't hurt you too much. Like, besides getting a look at somebody right now, and which is, again, who's to say that they wouldn't have looked at Tack during the offseason?
Right.
So now you get an early look at him, get to see what he's like, see what he's about. Then that free agency is coming up. You can choose to resign him, you can choose to let him walk. So we'll see how they handle it. But again, it doesn't hurt to take flyers on young talent. So
yeah,
we'll see.
All right. So my next thing was we was going to talk about how Lamar looked against the Colts, but we kind of touched on it a little bit.
We touched on it, but not really. I mean, I can go into a little more detail with it.
Well, before you do that, I was going to take it to commercial.
Oh, go ahead, dude.
Yeah. But,
run this ship, brother.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll go more in depth on how Lamar looked against the Colts and how he'll probably look against the Patriots. But yeah, see y'all in a minute. My bad. We back.
You and these rhetorical questions.
Yeah.
Action question.
Yeah, we back. Nutty North on Scoring There. I don't think I said this at the beginning. Yeah, on Scoring There Network on Facebook.com or scoringthere.com. I haven't put it on the website in a minute, but I might get back to that. But yeah, just check us out. Check out Scoring There. Definitely check out tonight. I think they still do the preview show, right?
Should be. We're getting towards the end of it. Hopefully they have a basketball show coming up shortly. I'm gonna have to talk to them about that, because season
have
comes
to talk
up.
about what else to promote. But I know, just check out Scoring There. They do events around, the high school events around town. Just check them out. Check them out for the broadcast, the blogs, all that. But yeah, we back. We about to talk about Lamar and his performance against the Colts. So, you want to take it off, T?
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point Lamar is he's just kind of going with the flow, trying to figure stuff out. It's not really a lot of wow coming. It's just kind of like, I don't want to call it boring football at this point, but
it's just predictable in a way. Like he'll torch you out with the feet. You know he can hit the check downs and torch you out with the feet. But I mean, it's just you don't expect much out of him, right?
I mean, it's just not really exciting. Like they win,
right?
That's what you play the game for. But it's just I've always believed, if just like anything else, there's levels. So if what looks good for the Bengals don't look the same for the Ravens. Like the Bengals, you're okay with the fight. Show me some fight. Show me some encouraging signs. Show me that Joe Burrow can play for real. Show me I need to see the young guys. I need to see Higgins step up. I need to see Joe Mixon being able to do what he does. There's certain things that you want to see out of a young team. But then you get to the Super Bowl contender teams, and then you want to see more than what you want to see from the Bengals. You don't want to just see development. You don't want to just see, can he do it? We know he can be a quarterback in the NFL. But can he be a championship quarterback in the NFL.
Right, you want that next step, that evolution.
Yeah.
And he hasn't proved it yet.
Not yet. Not to be where he's being put at. That MVP means nothing to me. You had a good regular season. Bravo. But the MVP that I care about the most, just like the NBA, what happens at the end of the season? Who's hoisting that trophy? You can be just, going back to school terms. There was a homecoming king and queen, and there was a prom king and queen. The more popular one was probably the prom king and queen.
I never got that, but I get what you said.
I could care less about any of them, really. Any of them courts. For real. But there's still homecoming and then prom,
Right.
But it's a certain type of person, certain type of attitude you have to be the prom king and queen. You can be the homecoming king and queen, but you're going to be capped off. You can't win the prom queen king and queen now. You're done. You're already out of here. Same thing. You can't win them both. You've never seen a homecoming king and a queen with the same prom king and queen.
I mean, I never paid attention, but I'm pretty sure you could win them both.
You can't win them both. It's just it doesn't happen. I've never seen it. Now, somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a homecoming king and queen or a prom queen.
I'm pretty sure there's somebody right now who's pissed at you.
Well, tell them, hey, there's an open seat for a reason.
Right there.
If I'm wrong, if I'm misquoted, I know football. I know sports. I'm not the biggest prom homecoming king guy, but just to put it out there. Anyway, your regular season is, to me, it's about that.
Right.
Like, to take it to that next level, we need to see you do these things against the good teams. We need to see you show out against talent level that's around your area. Like, if I look up this week and it's 27-21, Ravens beating the Bengals, are you really happy with that? That should be a blowout.
I know I'm happy with it.
But that's because you're looking at it from a different lens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Ravens, they'll look at that game just how we talked about Philly and Cincinnati. That game, that tie meant something different to both teams. Right. Cincinnati's probably looking at it like close to a win. Eagles looked at it like a close to a loss because it means different stuff in different channels. Right. So with the Ravens, it's the same thing. Like, I don't care what you do in a regular season because you show me in the playoffs, you get bounced early. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to see you show me that you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to be there when it matters. I need to see that you can beat the Tennessee Titans. They're going to be there when it matters. The Colts, yeah, that's cool, but the Colts still have a lot of ironing out that they have to do. The Browns should be there. The Steelers should be there. But these are teams that, they beat the Browns down, but they lost to the Steelers. You're not necessarily, I thought that was a measurement game, but I was a little bit wrong about the teams. The measurement game was the Steelers and the Ravens. You lost that game. That's your division winner right there. If you can't do what you need to do, you'll be playing a road playoff game. That's another problem. You see how these problems keep trickling down if you can't do what you need to do in the regular season. They did that last year, and they disappointed. So now you're looking at that with a grain of salt. Like, okay, what now? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not showing me nothing when you're playing. I don't want to even crap on the Dolphins because the Dolphins are too bad. But you're playing the Redskins. You're not proving nothing by beating the Redskins. Excuse me, not the Redskins anymore. My bad. The Washington football team. You're not showing me nothing by beating them. I'm going to see more when you can beat. Like they'll come out. Let's say they beat the Patriots. They'll walk around like they've done something because they beat Bill Belichick. But can you beat Bill Belichick when he has a playoff team? That's becoming a problem.
To be honest, he's 25-5 against most teams.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. But where are those 5 losses at though?
Those 5 losses, 3 are to Kansas City, which I guess that's a big problem when you're compared to Patrick the most, and
Tennessee and Cleveland.
Yeah, no one's to.
We beat him last year.
He would be 25-6. Because if 3's to KC, 1's to Tennessee, 1's to Cleveland, and then 1 would be to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those are all teams that you
gotta beat.
You gotta beat.
And I mean, you beat Pittsburgh before, but you beat them without Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm always putting Patrick Mahomes ahead of that dude because Pat Mahomes beats these teams. Pat Mahomes he didn't win the regular season MVP last year, but he won the Super Bowl MVP. That's what matters. Lamar's looking at his trophy like it's cute.
Basically the same way how Giannis was looking at his MVP compared to
it's the same
LeBron.
exact thing. That's why I give it a grain of salt because Giannis, you're playing the Charlotte Bobcats 4 times out of the year.
Right.
You should kill them. You're playing the New York Knicks. You should destroy them. Like you get bottom feeders. The for the longest time, the Ravens had 2 bottom feeders with the Browns and the Bengals every year. That should be 3 or 4 automatic wins most years. So when it comes to playoff time, you're not going to see you don't get a week with the last place team. You're playing the best of the best right out the gate. So that's your measure thing. Again, going back to the levels thing, that's your measuring stick. How do you do against these really good teams? Just like we looked at the Bengals. Well, the Bengals can show they can go out there and beat the Titans. Well, if the Ravens can't, that's a problem. That's a good team.
I mean, at some point, you got to look at it. Are they one-dimensional or can you shake it up?
They're super one-dimensional, but that's the thing about doing this during the regular season.
Right.
You're not going to be exposed as much because teams are playing different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might come off a 425 game and you're coming off a bye week. I have less time to prepare than you do. So it's going to be a different scenario from me to you because of that. The COVID thing might come up now. That team might have 2 weeks off. You might have a week off. Now it's a different ball. So many things come into play. Sometimes regular season, there's going to be players that sit out that normally wouldn't sit out during playoff time. That gives you an advantage. The weather's a whole other situation. Like there's so many things that come into play that normally wouldn't come into play in the playoff time. And if they are, then there's so many different ways to compensate for that because these are great teams. So again, until I see the Ravens beat a great team, I'm going to look at them with a little bit of skepticism, just because again, I come from a era that you want to show me something. I need to see it happen before I can believe it. I need to see the Ravens beat good teams before I crown them. And right now, it's a lot of it's coming down a little bit because the way the world work and the way that they see the Ravens not being the world beaters that they thought they were. Now they want to kind of look at them with a side eye too. But I've always looked at it that way just because I need you to show me that you can do it before I start to believe that you can do it. Until then, you're just a flash in the pan. So
I mean, I think they're capable of doing it. To be honest, I think you do need to shake things up a little bit. I never knew this, but it seems like Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, he has a history with this kind of thing where his quarterbacks, or it just seems that his offensive scheme becomes predictable. Like it seems like he was with Kaepernick in the 49ers. They became predictable. He was with I forgot who else he was with, but they became predictable. And
he was with Buffalo before that.
Yeah, he was with Buffalo and Tyrod, and it seemed like they became predictable. And now he's with Lamar and the Ravens, and it seems like they're becoming predictable.
Well,
that's not just on him; that's also on the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a type too.
Yeah, like you got to shake it up at some point.
Well, I mean, he seems to go for a specific type,
right? Like the type of quarterback that mostly can beat you with the legs and less with the arm.
Yeah,
even though I want to say Kaepernick was probably the best one with his arm.
Yeah, he was. But even with that, it was more so like you still had those questions, like how good of a quarterback is he?
Right.
And the moment that now, obviously with Kaepernick, it was more than just the football playing aspect that took him out of the league, but that little glimmer of hope that, well, he's not the dude, like he lost a little bit of that athleticism. That's what really, like I forgot who I was listening to the other day. I think it was Eric Dyson on the Shannon Sharp show. And he was saying how like Patrick Mahomes is like the biggest thing for social justice. Well, he was shouting out LeBron. And, basically LeBron uses his leverage of being such a great player that you can't blackball LeBron James. And if Patrick Mahomes decided to do the same thing, and he does do some social justice work, but if he decided to really do the same thing Kaepernick did, he would still have a job in this league because of the talent level. Because of if I cut him, somebody else is going to pick him up. So it's one of those things where you kind of come with a stigma. Kaepernick probably came with the same stigma that Tyrod Taylor came with. Same stigma that Lamar Jackson came with. Because that's one thing I can say about Lamar. I'm proud of him that he's even here. Even though he has a long way to go, I'm proud that he's even here because let them tell it at the beginning of his whole draft process, he was a wide receiver. He was going to be a cornerback.
I mean, he said it best. He's doing great for a running back.
Yeah, he's a brother that can run, and that's where they put you. That's that '60s way of thinking. That's that '50s way of thinking, where a lot of these athletic quarterbacks, especially black, they would never have been quarterbacks.
That's that Bengals way of thinking. Put him at running back, receiver.
But I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where that's what the head coach do. You have to notice these patterns. So if you look at Greg Roman and you say, well, this is what he does and this is how he goes about it, but there's a window, there's a place where all that stops at, then that's when you make a call and you say, well, maybe I get another quarterback coach in here. There's something that needs to change. And this is football we're talking about. It's always something small that changes the whole landscape of a game. So maybe Lamar Jackson does need another quarterback coach. Maybe Greg Roman's not the problem. Maybe who's under Greg Roman's the problem.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It could be the whole offensive staff. It could be Greg Roman. It could be the playbook. It could be Lamar. But something you got to shake. Someone needs to help him develop his arm for one. Because as everyone keeps saying, you can't beat teams with your leg all the time. You got to beat them with your arm at some point.
Especially they spy that thing, it becomes a problem. But you can, and again, you see I don't want to use the word crying about it, but you see he's pointing out the teams know our plays.
Well, I wouldn't even say he's crying about it. I just feel like he's telling it how it is, and instead of telling it how it is, how he always be, because he's candid. He's direct. He's to the point. He should just have his mouth shut and his head down and marching towards the goal. Because you looking like a one-trick pony, and nobody wants that. And I mean, he doesn't want that.
It's really another thing too. It's kind of like that new girl at school thing. It kind of wears off. Yeah. Like Lamar Jackson last year was a new girl at school, and now she come back for that other year, that junior year. And you're like, she's still cute, but this other ones that's coming in.
You just another one.
Just another one. So Lamar, he has to get out of that because he does do special things, but if you add that quarterback stuff to the leg, because again, that's why I referenced Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to beat you with his legs when he needs to beat you with his legs. That's not going to be his first, second, third, or fourth option. So that's what makes him more deadly. The more options you have, the better. So Lamar Jackson, once he figures that out, he'll be all right. But he just needs to work on some kinks here and there. And, a lot of that stuff, it comes with this season, because if you don't get it done this year, now the pressure's on. Now that contract situation's coming up. That's where they'll start knocking you. Okay, well, you can't win a big game. So instead of you being that $100 million man, maybe you're that $80 million man. Still a crap ton of money, but you ain't getting your worth because they can use that kind of stuff against you. So if anything, you need to kind of work that out. So we'll see. There's still a lot of football to go. So we'll see how they're able to get him together. And I think they got a bye week coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Unless they already had a bye week.
Okay,
it was either they had theirs week 6 or they're about to have it. I'm not sure.
See, with COVID, I'm so thrown off with bye week, not a bye week, a game here, games on Tuesday.
I mean, I just knew that the Bengals and Browns had byes week 8. That's it.
Yeah, and as long as I usually go for my fantasy teams, really, which again, I'm creeping up on to come up, so just want to throw that one out there. If y'all need an update on my fantasy squads, I am on the way.
I haven't checked mine. I think I won. I beat Lee, so
everybody beats Lee.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think one person lost to him, and I have no clue who.
They need to walk a shame. Pitiful, pathetic.
I wasn't even paying attention to my fantasy team when I beat them. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know who I got next, but I guess I gotta pay attention now.
I think I have. I want to say Wally. Wally, I'm coming for you, brother.
But I just thought of a question. I'm looking at the Bengals schedule right now, and they have the Steelers, Washington, Giants, Dolphins, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, and Ravens left. I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm for sure we're not making the playoffs. But I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like, we got enough time to just show what we got.
You want to build. That's it. Like, you're not supposed to.
Like, I'm just saying. Like, I'm looking at the schedule, and there's a lot of teams a decent amount of teams that we could beat. Like the only games that I'm looking at that I'm like could be for sure losses is against the Ravens and the Steelers.
I mean, they beat the Titans, so I wouldn't call anything a for sure loss.
That's another thing. That's another reason why, because we did come out, we did beat the Titans, who more than likely are going to win the AFC South. I mean, they got steep competition with like the Colts, but they're more than likely going to come out with it.
Now, no way, shape, or form saying Joe Burrow is better than Lamar Jackson. And no way.
I mean, right now he's looking like Lamar did last year. He's that new girl, that princess of the ball, you know.
But point being is, Joe Burrow does stuff that Lamar Jackson doesn't do, which is why he beats Tennessee. Because he can stand in that pocket and he can beat you with his arms. He made some plays with his legs, but he made more of the plays with his arms. So it's Joe Burrow knows how to be a quarterback. You don't have to teach him how to be a quarterback.
Right.
You might have to teach him how to run sometime. You don't have to teach him how to be a quarterback.
You got to teach him how to run. You got to teach him how to slide.
Yeah, you can't take them hits. But, I mean, for the Bengals' sake, it's more so, again, going back to the levels, can Joe Burrows and Higgins continuously being on that page that they've been on? Right. It ain't about A.J. Green now. You know, A.J. Green may or may not be there next year. Tyler Boyd, that's great. Shout out to you, Tyler Boyd, getting the fantasy team, my man's. But those connections matter. You know, Tyler Boyd's going to be there. Tyler Boyd really is the new A.J. Green. If you're going to keep it all the way 100. So it's more so if we can keep that connection going, win or lose, that's a win for the Bengals if they can see what they need to see out of Joe Burrow. They can keep those connections going. If that O-line can start to gel and get better, and they can win a couple more of these games. They probably don't even need to beat the Ravens and the Steelers. They just won one. You know, that's how you build. Because, again, last year you won 2 games. So if you can do better than that, that's where you want to go. That's where Zach Taylor wants to go. Then you can say, well, keep me on. You know, I'm 5-11 this year. Yeah, that's not great, but 5-11 is a whole lot better than 2-14.
I mean, just looking at it, I don't even think he could go 5-11, to be honest. Because like I said, he got Washington. Like, other than that pass rush, what do they have? He got the Giants. I mean, the Giants are getting better every other week. They're like Miami was last year. But still, I feel like we're the more talented team. We had the better quarterback. He got the Dolphins. That's probably the biggest fight of the underdogs out there. So then you got the Cowboys, and they're looking trash. They're looking complete trash, and we're about to talk about them right. Well, actually, we're about to talk about them right after this with that Steelers game. They are looking a little bit better, but they still got somewhere to figure it out. You know, somewhere to figure it out.
Could be the Andy Dalton revenge game, though. You can't sleep on that.
It won't be no Andy Dalton revenge. Look, I love the Red Rifle, but we will put that boy down.
Well, we'll see. They're going to need him back.
I mean, to be honest, he know what it's like to play against Geno, but he don't know what it's like to play against, Reader's out. He don't know what it's like to play against Mike Daniels.
Attack coming, so.
Yeah, attack.
See how that goes.
I mean, look, he know what it's like to play against him in practice, but it's a whole nother thing in the game when Sam Hubbard is breathing down your neck.
We'll see. I mean,
and then we don't even know if he'll gonna be the starter.
Yeah, good point.
We got Gilbert out there being a star.
Man, he almost did it. Man, I was the biggest Gary Gilbert fan this weekend. Boy, I'm telling you, I thought he had it.
Should have picked him up from my fantasy team.
Man, listen.
Because Wentz, I don't think he did anything.
Tom Brady almost cost me. Those words I never thought I would say. Well, you know, I wasn't building today.
And then, like, you know, the other team that we got that's a possible win is the Texans. They haven't been anything. I mean, J.J. Watt he's still a terror, but he looking like he went out. So
yeah,
he probably not playing as hard as he could. Deshaun Watson needs help.
Man, if he had somebody like DeAndre Howard,
they got rid of the people that cause problems there. Time to rebuild.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule, and it's a possibility for us to go. We're at 2-5 right now, right? 2-5-1.
Yep.
I think it's a possibility for us to at least go maybe like 9-7, 8-8, 6-10.
Slow down, Wayne.
Slow down. Go 9-7 because we tied the game, so it'll be like what 9. I mean, it's a possibility. Like we got the AFC East.
What did I tell you about possibilities last week? It's a possibility when I leave this building, there's an AIO standing out there in the Mustang. Come on in, baby. Let's go home. It's a possibility, sure. If it likely,
We're the better team. Every team I just said, other than Miami, we're the better team.
I'm a better man than Big Sean, but it still don't mean that I'm gonna walk out this building.
You're a better fan.
Yes, I am. I'm staying on that one too. Absolutely.
Okay.
Still not about to walk outside and she out there. So
I guess at the end of the day, we just have to see on Sundays what's gonna happen.
you need to stay off the hooch.
That's
out
crazy.
there.
I'm as sober as can be.
You got the after hour during the daytime, bro. That's why you came in a little bit tardy.
That's true.
Man was kicking it. That's what that brown bag was.
He's just mad that the Browns is gonna end 8-8. That's it.
If the Browns win 8-8, I ain't gonna be mad. It's almost a Super Bowl. Yeah, you talking to?
And then you'll be proud then when they throw a parade.
You thought I'm gonna be mad at any parade that ain't a Super Bowl championship parade. I've been to a championship parade in Cleveland, and it was great. Outside of the service, your phone service was out.
You can have an 8-8 parade. Come on, man.
I don't celebrate average. I don't think we can go 8-8. Don't we get an extra game this year?
I mean, I don't know. It's 17 weeks now, but I don't know. It still comes out.
No,
to the
I
same
think
thing, right?
I think it's the next year that is a 17th game.
Okay, but they had 17 weeks now, right?
Yeah,
but
there's always been 17 weeks.
Has there always been?
Yeah, 16 games in a bye week.
Oh, snap! Huh?
Yeah, so I think it's coming up where we have like.
Wait, so it was a 17th game that they were talking about?
Yeah, 17th game.
So that would make it 18 weeks.
Yeah.
What? I could have sworn they was arguing about 17 weeks.
They didn't want to play. The NFL players didn't want to play an extra game or two. So the NFL, they countered it with, we get rid of a couple preseason games. This was all before COVID. Get rid of a couple preseason games to play the regular season games. But the NFL players were like, that's not fair either, because nobody plays the preseason games like that. So you're getting rid of games that we probably wouldn't play in anyway, and you're compensating with games that would probably play the whole game. It didn't add up. But then COVID came, and that just kind of tabled the talks. But I think this year is the extra playoff teams, and they're talking about
this year's the extra playoff teams. I know that much.
Yeah, they're talking about adding more because of the COVID situation.
Well, I know it was like contingency plans.
Yeah,
which I forgot to add on the notes. They were talking about if the season was to be canceled, they'll add, instead of 14, there'll be 16 teams.
Yeah.
So, and then there was like another contingency after that.
Yeah, they just have to kind of figure out what, because it's, you can cancel one game pretty much, and then it's bye week. That's just your bye week. You got to switch that up and change some things around. But if they have to cancel another game, then how would you be able to necessarily determine who gets the, because then you will have to speculate, like, okay, this team played one or two less games. Now they'll have to percentage points be ahead of this team that played a couple extra games. We got a couple extra opportunities to lose. So obviously your percentage points will be lower because you took a risk that this other team didn't. So they had to kind of figure it out. But again, like I said on the show, I ain't paid enough to make those decisions. There's people they pay to make those decisions. True. They should have had a contingency plan for real. I always thought the season should have been longer. Like, make it 20 weeks. You're dealing with freaking COVID. Make it 20 weeks. Push everything back a couple weeks. If it didn't work, if you didn't have to cancel games and none of that was a problem, then you can start the playoffs or those bye weeks. Or what hurts, having every team healthy.
Right.
I don't see no problem with saying, okay, everything worked out. We over prepared for something. Take 2 weeks off to rest up. If you're the division or if you're top of the conference, you have 3 weeks to rest up and chill. You can do with that whatever way you want to, but now we have fresh players, at least as fresh as they can be, out there playing. But they ain't called me asking me for my opinion. And if they listening right now, call me asking for my opinion. But I think that
call, ask, and pay us for our opinion.
That man ain't lying. He ain't lying. But it's something that should have been done. I'm happy it's done now, but let's just see how it all plays out. And up until this point, it's kind of been what I thought it was going to be. We have some good weeks. We have some weeks where it's a lot of COVID situations. Every week, I'm pretty sure that somebody's going to end up on that COVID list. But that's the new normal. So whatever.
Also, about COVID news, I forgot to say, the whole secondary for the Bengals had to sit out practice at least a day or two because somebody tested positive for COVID. I think it was some personnel on the team. I don't think it was any player, but it was just somebody in the organization.
They need to do something. I thought they were wearing those like tracer things that tell you that somebody's close with it or whatever. Like
I don't know about that.
Oh well, they're gonna need to figure something out because this whatever they're doing still to this point, it ain't working because you're still getting COVID.
I mean, I think
situations or
that just
whatever.
has to do with the fact that I mean, COVID. It's all about the bodily fluids. You out there sweating every day, so you getting dirty. Your mouth's open, sweat might fall in your mouth or something like that. So
All I know about this is I don't know about this.
all I know is keep wearing your mask, people.
We could have chose medical, but we didn't. So wear masks, whatever, social distance and all that other. But just I don't know.
I mean, I think, like I said, nobody on the secondary tested positive as far as I know, but they just didn't practice at one point. So, I mean, they still got time. They had time. They just got extra days of rest, prepare.
It's like whoever's out there when the game starts, that's what I'm watching. Yeah. So I mean, I wish health on everybody, but
as long as Darius Phillips isn't guarding Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm cool. As long as William Jackson isn't guarding Claypool, I'm cool. I'll just be honest. Like, they quick, but they not that quick. Like, Claypool will burn William Jackson, to be honest.
Poor William Jackson.
That's our star corner, too.
Used to be something. Whatever happened to that man?
At least we got Jesse Bates, best safety in the game.
He made some plays.
Yes, sir.
We'll see. I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm rooting for y'all, but no, I am rooting for y'all.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say we playing the Steelers.
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't gonna lie, I rooted for the Browns and they played the Steelers until I saw that score and I was like, yeah, let's go Steelers.
I need me a terrible towel and a lighter. Anybody out there that have me?
That's crazy.
Add me if you have one.
But, I guess the last thing we could talk about is some injury updates. Well, also we got the preview upcoming weeks. You want to take a break real quick?
Yes.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk about any injury updates, and then we'll talk about the upcoming weeks. And then we'll get out of here. Let y'all folks go on about y'all day. See y'all in a minute. All right, we back. All right, we in the last few minutes of the show. We're gonna talk about any injury updates. I think it's pretty straightforward. We talked earlier in the show about Greedy Williams. He's still out. I think Nick Chubb said he doesn't feel ready to come back yet.
Don't you lie on my dude, man.
What are you talking about? He literally said he doesn't feel ready.
Reference it.
Bro, I don't remember the article, but he said he didn't feel ready to come back.
That was 2 weeks ago. I know today he ready.
You got the Texans, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's an article out there that said he didn't feel ready to come back.
Hey, what a Browns fan that you saw? Like, what inside source you had that I don't?
I got a lot of inside sources.
We'll take them sources outside. Chubby will be back. Chubba Dub will be back, baby. Get that man the ball. 2 things happened while he was out. The Browns won some games, and so did my fantasy team. They both happened without Chubb, but I'm not
also lost some games.
Shut up. Shut your filthy, dirty mouth. We're being positive and optimistic around these parts at this moment. Don't you do this to Chubby. But Chubb will be back. It makes us better automatically because Kareem Hunt is the best backup running back in the NFL without question, and he's a top 10, 15. Name one better.
Gio.
Shut your dirty, filthy mouth. Shut your dirty. Even though he did help you win a game,
yes, sir.
He's not better than Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
But anyway, it's like a total ball kind of thing. So when Chubb gets back, it makes Kareem Hunt better, which makes Baker Mayfield better.
Hold on, Le'Veon Bell. Ain't he back up to Clyde Edwards?
I almost forgot all about Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, he either the starter, he the backup, or
he
Edwards.
The backup.
See, there you go. That's another one better.
Le'Veon Bell's not better than Kareem Hunt.
All right.
Not right now. Le'Veon Bell, if you talk about all time, he might have him. But today he ain't got time, cuz. Today he ain't got time.
Yeah,
He
go on
knows.
with your list.
But it makes everybody else better when you have your horseback. And I think that's what Chubb is. He's one of those old school running backs that I'm not saying give him the ball 25, 30 times a game, but you can give him the ball 25, 30 times a game. So he opens up everything. I think Kareem Hunt becomes more of a pass catcher, especially with Beckham being out. I always thought Kareem Hunt should have been more of a pass catcher anyway. But I think him and Chubb out there, the more the better. Um, but it's just one of those things where I'm happy to see him back. He's been out.
Are we sure he's back?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll come on here next week and I'll tell you the world how wrong I am. I'll own that just like I own anything else. But as far as my knowledge, up until I walked out the building today, he was playing.
All right, but it was NFL.com. That's who it was.
I don't believe NFL.com.
The article says Browns running back Nick Chubb not sure he'll be able to play on Sunday.
When was that reference? When was the article put out?
November 11th, today.
And
Yesterday.
Who wrote it?
Grant Gordon.
I don't trust him.
Digital content producer.
I don't trust anybody with two first names.
Grant Gordon?
Nope. I don't trust him. Not at all. Get him out of here.
All right.
Nah, but I mean, as far as I've heard, Chubb's playing. If not, I need to know before Sunday so I can make the right transactional moves because he's sitting there writing my lineup with the 14.9 projected points for me.
I'm not going to lie. I need to know the same thing because Joe Mixon, he's been limited in practice, but I need to know if he's playing or not because, I mean, I could play, and also I messed up his name like a week or two ago, but I'm about to mess up DJ Dallas. I could play DJ Dallas. He's been good for me, but I need Joe Mixon back.
And that's another thing that you referenced, Joe Mixon. Running backs are always on the injury report. Like, a lot of times they can get rest anyway. A lot of times they don't feel together. A lot of times, because you get hit all the time. It's different. You don't even, like, quarterbacks, you don't get hit in practice. Running backs, you get that work. So, I mean, I can understand. Maybe he's not ready. If there was a game today, maybe Nick Chubb doesn't play. Luckily, ain't a game today. Well, it is a game today, but it ain't a Browns game today.
Right.
So, I mean, he'll be all right. And if not this week, he'll be back next week because the Texans still stink. So if you want to pick another game and rest him, okay, cool. But
it's kind of like a bye week.
Yeah, the bye week was enough. So we'll see how that folds out. But, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Sorry for yawning, but I think Mark Ingram's still out. I forgot what he's out with.
I just picked him up today too. I forgot who dropped him, but thank you.
What'd you say?
Somebody dropped Mark Ingram and I had to pick him up.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I know I dropped him, but that was a while back.
No, somebody dropped him after you.
That's crazy.
I don't know who, but I put him right there on my bench. Go ahead and sit down.
Why would you pick up Mark Ingram? I mean, they got Edwards. They got Dobbins.
Have you seen my running back room?
No, I haven't seen it.
I have Nick Chubb. I have David Johnson, who's out. I have Hasty from San Francisco. Pretty much my running back room stinks. So any little help could have helped.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I lucked up getting DJ Dallas because Seattle sucks. Other than it seems their quarterback and their running back because DJ Dallas has showed up for me in 2 games.
They always have a different running back at some point, like Seattle.
Yeah. I wish I had Chris Carson, but he's injured. So thank you, DJ Dallas.
He's always injured too, by the way. Yeah. But I mean, I think the one injury that we haven't talked about that is huge. We talked about him with the COVID thing, but Ben Roethlisberger with his knees. I know last week he hurt both of his knees or legs or one or the other.
I mean, I shouldn't say this, but it would kind of be poetic justice if we blew that knee out. I mean, they did it to Carson. Back when we was balling, they did it to Carson. So, and it was actually the game when TJ Houshmandzadeh did the with the terrible towel. He wiped his cleats with the terrible towel. They played the next game. They blew out Carson Palmer's knee. So it'd be a little poetic justice if we did that again.
Wasn't that Beisel that did that?
Huh?
Brett Beisel? I think it was him that took out his knee.
Yeah, it might have been.
But I mean, I don't ever want to see nobody hurt, even Big Ben. But
I don't know.
This is what he does too, though. Big Ben, he's going to miss a couple games or be injured, or for somebody so big, he's fragile.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's out there, you see what the change happens when he's out there. When he's out there, you can be a contender. If he's not out there, you're getting a helmet across your head. Hi, Mason. I'm not going to lie. That's the one thing. If I could wish for something, no, I wouldn't wish for that either. But if I wanted to see something happen, Brown Steelers wise, I want to see Big Ben not play the next game just to see Mason have to play, or not even that. Let Big Ben play, but be knocked out a couple series or something. Let Mason go out there and wet his pants. I want to see that because I also want to beat Ben too, and I want that payback because they put something on our head. So,
I wouldn't say I want him hurt. He's an Ohio boy. I'm an Ohio boy. You got to show love for people having success out of Ohio, but at the same time, I'm tired of him torturing my team. So
I hate that phrase when it comes to supporting Ohio. Not from you, because you actually do, but most of the time I hear that it's it's a LeBron fan who ain't supporting Ohio. You are supporting LeBron James, and by the way, because he's the best player in the NBA, now I want to support Ohio. You don't really want to do that because you have been a Cavs fan. Secondly, a lot of times you hear that they would come from Steelers fans. When you're a Buckeye fan on Saturday, but you're a Steelers fan on Sunday, that's not supporting Ohio.
I don't understand that.
I do. It's that bandwagon thought process. It's that I only want to be around winners.
I'm not even a Blue Jackets fan, and I get happy when I see them in the playoffs.
You
gotta support Ohio.
It's because you're proud of from where you're from. But a lot of these people, they do the front runner thing. Like that's their mentality. That's why you'll see Buckeye fans because Buckeyes are historically a great team. Yeah. They don't want to see you from the bottom rising up to the top. They want to see you from the bottom and stay at the bottom. The Steelers are already established. Most of the people that like the Steelers before they even came off the womb, the Steelers are already a world-class organization. Those same people, I see this a lot. Buckeye fan, but I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Buckeye fan, but I'm a Buckeye fan, Packer fan. I'm a Buckeye fan.
Hold up, now you got cover Adam.
He supports the Browns too, so I'm giving him half love. But that's their mindset. I'm a 49er fan. You probably grew up with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and all those guys doing what they do, and they stayed with it because those are teams that they seen win it. I'm for one. I take enjoyment of watching a team come from the bottom all the way to the top. It means more that way.
All right.
Never mind the fact that I'm from here. You know what I mean? But at the same time, doing what we do, we also understand it's not going to be a lot of support our way either. And that's your own city. You would want that to happen, but it just doesn't happen. So you can cry about it all day or whatever, or you can just come out to Steelers fans and act like I do. So that's more pleasurable for me because I'm about that action.
I guess if anything, if I would want an injury to Big Ben, it'd just be to see Steelers fans cry. It's the same way with like Michigan fans. I don't hate Michigan. I just hate their fans. I love to see them cry.
I hate everything about Michigan until November happened. I rooted for them boys one day that whole time. Woo, come on, Michigan, give me the votes, baby. They held it down, by the way. That was the only time I ever cared about some Michigan stuff. Ohio, you let me down, though. That was one time in my life that Michigan did me better than Ohio did.
That's crazy.
You see, the results notwithstanding. Shout out to y'all. You get that one. You better take this tape, footage, cut it down, edit it, put it in your files, whatever. That's the only time you hear me say anything positive about Michigan. And I ain't even talking about the school. I'm talking about that state.
Look, it's like I said. My city didn't fold. Cincinnati didn't fold. Cleveland didn't fold. Toledo didn't fold. So I will visit those places, but everywhere else in Ohio, I ain't stopping nowhere else.
They gonna hickey you up, not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way.
But I mean, it's one of them things, man. But all jokes aside, support your own, support the city, support the state.
Yeah, even the people that's from your state that don't represent your state, like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He from Lima, Ohio. You gotta support him somewhat.
Bean City.
Just a little bit. A little bit. Hit the camera right here. Just a little bit. Love him just a little bit. I love the success he got. Ohio boy, proud, strong. Not the team he from though.
Nah, I hate them.
Yeah. But I mean, now we got to talk about the upcoming games. I feel like we talked enough about the Bengals and the Steelers. Really, I say it's a trap game. You say there's a possibility that they can win, but more than likely it's a loss.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much. Browns, the Browns and the Texans. I think it's going to be. That's one of those. It's a tricky one for the Browns.
I feel like that's a trap game too.
Kind of is because
it's just that secondary worries me for y'all.
Yeah,
and Deshaun Watson, he can flame.
They don't have no playmakers though.
Like, but I mean, they don't have Kenny Stills no more. No. Who they got?
They have Brandon Cooks. They have freaking Will Fuller.
There you go, Will Fuller. He's not a playmaker, but he can be slightly on plays here and there.
He's John Ross with playing time.
I would have said more like Brandon Cooks was John Ross with playing time, but I get that.
I mean, it's the same. And then they got Randall Cobb. They literally have the same freaking player, 3 different wide receiver positions. Like, you like this? You like who's out?
I meant to say this about Marquise Brown. He's the same thing. He's John Ross with playing time.
Yeah.
Because on any other team, he's not the number 2 and he's not the number 1 receiver.
I'll give you that.
So.
I mean, I still think that why I say it's a trap game is because you look at the Texans and you say, well, Brown should beat them.
Right.
But those are the games you lose and you look up and you're 5-4 and it don't feel the same anymore.
At all.
You know, the Raiders game, I can understand that one because the Raiders aren't a bad team either. So, yeah, I would have wanted to win that one, especially going into a bye week, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. Right. So, I think the Texans are, if you're for real, you go out there and you put someone on the head. If you for real. If you for fun, you go out there and you play with them and you might lose. So we'll see what the Browns, again, that win or lose off the bye week, that's coming up. So can they win that bye week? And that's going to show come Sunday. If they put someone on the Texans, they won it. They did what they were supposed to do. I was watching, I think it was Building the Browns yesterday. Well, actually this morning. And he was talking about the Raiders game. If y'all win this one, I'll take care of you on the bye week. Well, we didn't win that one. So how did that translate? If I take care of you during the bye
week, who said I'll take care of you?
The coach, Stefanski.
Okay.
He was like, after the Colts game, he had said like, well, we have one more game for the bye. If we can, y'all do what y'all have to do there, I'll take care of you during the bye week. Meaning, I'm going to rest you. I'm going to let you know what I'm saying. I'm going to give you probably a week off all that. We lost. What did he do in that bye week? Did it go the other way around? Did he not rest him? You gonna hit these wind sprints. You gonna do these, up downs and burpees and all. Did he make him do that? No, I mean it is. You lost.
My legs are.
You rest when you win.
Right.
You lose, you get back to the drawing board. So that's going to show this coming game. And then the Texans still have talent. Like I don't think they're a good team by no means, but I think they're better than the record. Right. I mean, you are what your record is. I get that. Shout out to Bill Parcells for that one. That's true, but at the same time. Going forward, if you're a better team on paper, that can show up a different week. You're a bad team because you have so many things that go wrong with you, but you also have, if everything goes right, just like we talked about with Cincinnati, everything went right against Tennessee that game. You can win that way when everything goes right. It's rare that happens, but that can happen. If that happens to the Browns, the Texans can beat them. Deshaun Watson's a guy that can beat you. He's a Pro Bowl. He's a star. He's a big money guy. He can have one of those games. So we're going to have to mitigate that by doing what we do. And we have the pieces that can do it. It's just that sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. You have to learn how to win, so we'll see. But this is going to be a big game for that.
And I was going to speak on that. Well, you said if everything goes right, it can what'd you say? Everything go right, you can win. Everything goes right, you can win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to speak just a little bit, and then it was about old Bengals coach. I think it was Sam Weich. Yeah. I can never pronounce that man's last name. But I remember when he was talking about last year when Zach Taylor was like 0-5. He was like, you just keep playing hard, and at some point it will just click for you. And I feel like for the Bengals, at least against Tennessee, it kind of just clicked.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will translate into more wins, but it seems like it just clicked.
Well, it's the inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? That's with a young, bad team. Like the Bengals are a young, bad team. So they have to learn how to stack on wins. Right now, they can be this and then they can be that.
Right.
They need to be here where I can stay at this level.
Right. And like
And
the Texans could somewhat be the same at times. They
yeah,
just need for it to click at that some moment.
yeah,
And against the Browns, it technically can, because like I said, that secondary is trash.
they can get off. So we'll have to see how it all work out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's just more so the Browns are in a position they're not really in a lot more talent than you. So you're gonna have to beat us, and we're not gonna have to beat you. But that kind of mentality, and again, we have an inconsistent quarterback. He's Baker Mayfield one day, Baker Manziel the next. So we have to make sure that the Baker that's gonna be out today or Sunday is Baker Mayfield. If he's Baker Manziel, that's another way to lose.
Right.
So it's just about figuring that out. But again, this comes with bye weeks, this comes with preparation, this comes with how they used it, what they did with it, how they took that loss against the Raiders, because they should have felt like they could have won that game. So how does that taste in your mouth resonate? And if it makes you feel the way that you feel, and it's not, if I'm chomping at the bit, some cats can look at this bye week and say, okay, it's time to relax and rest, kick my feet up, no football, none of that, just chill. That's the mentality I don't want around me. I need that we lost. I'm ready to go out there again. I hate that I have a bye week. I know me personally, I hated this week coming up because we had a bye week. I want to get back at you. I'm a payback dude. So the fact that we lost and I have to sit there and deal with it, I want to come back and put something on the next person's head. So the next person is the Texans. If the Browns feel like I feel like we can win the game. But I'm a fan. I'm this. I can't go out and hit nobody. If I did, I'll get arrested quick.
But before you keep going, shout out to Cortez Hell, who said, "At least you keep it real and you applying your stats and facts. Good job, fam."
My guy.
I was gonna say that's another friend of yours right there.
It's John.
Huh?
It's John. His name is Cortez on Facebook.
Really?
Learn your personnel, man. Yes.
Bro,
click on the picture.
Back up. The picture is an Ohio State picture.
No, look at the profile pictures. That's John. Sure. My
Sure?
guy. Yes.
It literally is an Ohio State picture.
I'm saying I know who that is, though. Like, when we get off of here, I'll show you.
You saying I know who it is, too?
Yeah, bro, you're in the picture with him. You're literally behind him.
Oh, snap. What?
You be fried.
Oh, man, it's been a minute. I ain't seen him in a minute. I ain't seen him in a minute. All right, that's on me.
Dude. Shout out to him, though. But yeah, I mean, it's a motivational thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, my personality is my personality. I can't speak for the Browns. They need to have a certain type of personality, and we'll see if they have that. That's the beauty of football. We don't know.
Right.
So many things nowadays are predictable. That's the beauty of sports. It ain't predictable. So we'll see how they take it. I know how I took it. We'll see how they take it.
All right, so we're a little past the time that we were gonna stop. It's 2:04, but I mean, we talked about the Ravens and Pats pretty much, and I mean, we touched on it. We didn't kind of go in depth. And I feel like we would have clowned it a little bit more, but that still is Dallas game. Anything else you want to say about that? No.
I mean, they have been what this is about. Like, the Steelers have kind of played down to their competition, but they've been able to persevere. So, right. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to look back at the season and say, well, you struggle with Dallas, you struggle with the Broncos, you struggle with Philly. And nobody's going to care. Yeah. What's your record at the end of the season? So, I mean,
it's like I said, I was stealing it from EB or Eric. I don't know how to say his last name. The offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, but he said it best. We don't count numbers, we count alphabets.
Yep.
Wins or losses.
That's all it is. So, I mean, I never thought it would be 8-0 right now anyway. So they don't care. They don't care that I don't care.
Right.
I don't care that they don't care that I don't care. So it is what it is. We get another game against them. That's what really matters to me more than anything, because I still don't see the Steelers winning no Super Bowl.
Right.
I see them, like I was saying about the Ravens. You play who's on your schedule. You can have a good regular season and get bounced in the first round. So none of it matters until we get to the playoffs. So it's cool to do what you need to do, but just as well as you can win 8 straight, you can lose 8 straight. So let's let the season play out. You said they got the Pats this week. I mean, no, they
No,
have the Bengals. Ravens have the Pats. Yeah, we talked enough about them. But circling back to the Ravens and the Pats, I mean, that's just again, we'll have to see how that folds out.
Right.
That's a team that they should beat down. If they don't, they have to reevaluate themselves again. But it's so many storylines that come out of this, so we'll see and we'll revisit it next week. But I mean, everything's kind of played out the way I expected it. So,
all right. So we're at the end of our show. Any last things you want to say? Anything you want to shout out?
Check us out. The same time, same channel next week. We'll be here. We will have more updates, and we appreciate the support, appreciate the love, and shout out to I just had a new addition. I want to get into my personal world a little bit. Never really got to say anything about this, but shout out to I had a new nephew, Jonas. Fresh out. We trying to make him buck-eyed up. I'm gonna spend some time with him, make him a Browns fan, all of that.
Hold on a minute. You said fresh out like he just came out of jail.
I mean, that pretty much. You stuck up there for 9 months. I'm pretty sure you feel a brand new day once you come out of there. So it's my sister, so I don't want to dig too much into her areas. But I mean, shout out. It feels great to have a new addition. Little nephew. So I mean,
make sure you make him a Bengals fan.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. But I just wanted to go ahead and do that because I can do that. This is our show, so it's something I can touch on, and hopefully one day I'll have him out here with this COVID thing.
Tell your sister I said congrats.
I appreciate it. He's going to make me have to learn how to change a diaper. That's something I don't know how to do, but
it's easy. It's simple.
Shout out to you, Jonas. You are on my show, my man. Love you, boy.
Yeah. Well, since we shouting out nephews, shout out mine. They know who they is.
Can't even say their names.
I mean, I could, Ronald, Jonas, shout out them.
Who's you?
I mean, one's a Browns fan, so yeah, whatever. Yeah. The other one's a Bengals fan, so
Yeah, man. Outside of that, check us out. We'll have some Spotify stuff coming up here, some YouTube maybe, some Spreaker. We're working. We're trying to make this thing big, man. So if you see this, you hear whatever, share, support, like, show some love.
Do all that. Me money for that PS5.
Money for the PS5 or the Xbox, it don't matter. We will throw a Cash App out there if y'all need it. We will throw whatever. We'll get Rondell on making one of them or all of them. I'll run the OnlyFans. Don't worry about it. Donations are appreciated. But yeah, man, appreciate the love and support. If you still here, love you.
All right. See y'all next week.